Hello. For this week's video, I want to talk about imposter syndrome, which happens to a lot of people in their career for numerous different reasons. And I experienced it a few times this week with my writing and with my book. And so wanted to kind of just open up, talk about that. If anyone watches this and you're a writer, I suspect that you have imposter syndrome at times as well. And if you're doing something in your career or doing something that you maybe weren't trained for or you weren't qualified for, I suspect you're going to have imposter syndrome as well. So for those that don't know, imposter syndrome is this kind of, you're faking it in a role that you shouldn't really be in. And for me, I had imposter syndrome where I was like, I'm not an author. I'm kind of faking it and seeing how we go. But am I? But technically, I am an author. And this thought process started because this week I was a mystery reader for my kid, and I went into the school and I spent 15 minutes reading a couple of books with them and having fun. But my daughter introduced me as an author, and it was and then I had a couple of kids ask me questions about, hey, like, what's it like being an author? Like, how cool are you? Like, you're an author, and when is Chloe going to be released? And how do we do that? And then, like, how do I become an author? And it was kind of this really weird moment where I was like, okay, am I an author? Am I not an author? Like, it was very humbling that people called me an author, but I kind of am juggling with this in my back of my head. And to give you some, idea around this, my first two books combined have sold probably about 250 copies. I've self-published, so I've gone out there and done it, and I published, but I haven't got a publisher. I haven't sold millions of copies. So am I an author? Like, does that count because I've published my books myself? I don't know. I kind of felt like I'm an imposter to these kids, but at the same time, and it was a weird coincidence, I was reading a book called Think Big, which is a children's book designed for 5-6-year-olds, and it's all about Humpty Dumpty thinking big, and he doesn't just want to sit on a wall. He wants to, be an astronaut or a firefighter or a teacher. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? If you work hard and you follow your dreams, then anything is possible. Like, I believe that, and I'm working hard to be an author, and I'm pushing myself, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm on the path to being an author, but I don't know when I would be comfortable calling myself an author. And is it measurement on how many books I've sold? Is it measurement on I have a book deal? Is it measurement on how much money could I get to the point of being a full-time author and supporting my family with book sales and other sales? That's where I want to go. So at that point, would I classify myself as an author? Would I classify myself as an author if I did 20 books like I set out to do? So I don't know where I go with that. And I would be really curious if anyone ever watches this video, if anyone else has had the imposter syndrome and what they judge as success and what they judge as don't success and their theories. But as I was thinking about that this afternoon, and I was thinking about the competition that we did, and it was amazing that we had nearly 50 people enter this competition, which was from just promoting ourselves and unbelievable. And we had these kids with such creativity. But the thing was that I told the parents of one winner, and that they were like, "Oh my God, it's going to make her day. She's so ecstatic that she's going to be in a book." And then I told the therapist who entered another kid into the competition. They were like, "Oh my God, she needed this. Like, she's like struggling with self-belief, and she's now like being recognised for her drawing, and she's going to be recognised in a book." And I was like, "Does that classify as I've made it then? Is this imposter syndrome in my head? Like, I've made these kids happy for a brief moment in time by doing what I love, and they think I'm really cool, and the kids today thought I was really cool. So have I made it as an author? I don't know, but I'm just spitballing off my ideas and thoughts here on this video, so apologies, it's not really a fun one. But there definitely will be more competitions as a side note, and I would love anyone else's thoughts on imposter syndrome. Thanks again.